because it's being recorded right now.
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। So, we have been talking about the characteristics of a wise person for the past 2 days. It has been an ongoing topic, and so far, for the newcomers, I would just like to recap this much, that wise person who is discussed in Bhagavad Gita is called Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajna, Sthita means steady, and Prajna means his knowledge, his wisdom. So Sthita Prajna is the one whose knowledge is steady, which means he abides in the self, in consciousness, which is the reality, which is the truth. And he spontaneously abides. He doesn't have to remember that I am so and so, etc., that I am Brahman, I am the reality. He now abides in this. What is the principal characteristic of such a person? So we have discussed in these 2 days. That person is referred to by the Shastras, by the scriptures, as ignorant, Ajnani. So the difference between a wise man and an ignorant person is this, that whereas a wise person is happy by himself, totally independent, and an ignorant person is dependent upon the world, dependent upon things, dependent upon people, dependent upon situations to make him happy. He is not happy by himself. Once in a while it may be so, but otherwise he needs things, he needs people, he needs favorable situations to make him happy. Which means that ignorant people are those who look for happiness out in the world. They don't know that happiness is their nature. Self or consciousness, which is their nature, their core nature, itself is of the nature of happiness, peace, contentment, and is the only reality, of this creation that they don't know. And that is why they look for happiness, contentment, security, love, etc. from the world outside. This we have discussed at length. And the second salient feature or the characteristic of a wise man is this, that when life presents before him situations which are unfavorable, then he doesn't sink in the ocean of sorrow. He is not at all affected by it. And supposing life presents before him favorable circumstances, favorable situations, pleasant situations, in that case also, he doesn't jump with joy, which means he is totally unaffected by it. That doesn't mean that he is like a stone. Nothing happens to him. No, he is sensitive. But the remote control is not with the world to make him happy or unhappy. Situations don't affect him. Why? Because he very well abides in his own nature. And that nature is not his personal thing. That is the reality. And he knows that he is that. So these are the two characteristics about a wise person which we have seen. Conversely, an ignorant person is not in command of himself. Why are we discussing him? Why are we discussing a wise man? Precisely because we want to learn from him. We also desire and wish to become like this. Because today we are at the mercy of the world, mercy of people, mercy of things for our own happiness. We want to get out of this. And we have ignorant people often experience that they go through swings of joy and sorrow. One moment they are happy, another moment if things don't go as per their expectations, he is unhappy. And the entire creation, people around me, things around me, situations around me will be as per my expectations is not going to happen. If it happens, okay and fine, we will welcome it. But more often than not, it is not like that. It has its own path, it has its own destiny, and if it happens as per my expectations, as per my wishes, then I am lucky. Otherwise, I am affected. Otherwise, I am very much affected. So today, my happiness, my peace, my contentment, I don't command. And that is not the success. Success is when I am totally independent. Independent doesn't mean that I am earning my own money and I don't care for the world. That is not the kind of independence we are talking about. Regardless of the situation, regardless of things around me, but I am cool. May you always lift yourself up by yourself. Atmana, Atmana, Atmanam, Atmana Uddare. May you lift yourself up by yourself, which means we have to work with ourselves, with our mind. Make it conducive, make it my friend, so that it cooperates with me, so that it does what I want it to do. Natmanam avasadayet. It has been said, never allow the mind to become the cause of your downfall. Never allow the mind to become the cause of your downfall. Because if you don't work with it, if your mind is already a friend, cooperating with you, having the right values, having the right attitudes, then very good. Then it is our friend and it will lead us on the right path. But if it is not so, then the same mind will pose an obstacle and it will give me hard time. Such a mind can become a hell, you know. I cannot handle myself. And that is what we see. That is what we see. That people cannot handle their own emotions, cannot handle their own impulses, their anger, their anxieties, their depression, their greed, their passion, and takes hold over them. Circumvents the person itself. Emotions have the last say, impulses have the last say, and then they make the person a puppet. He has to dance to the tune of his impulses. What kind of a life is this? Which is not in my control. My mind itself, life is not in my control. But my mind has to be in my control. Then we have won it. Then we have made it. So, it is for this reason that we are talking about a person who is like us only. That may be he or she, maybe he or she, anyone. But he has made it. And when we learn about him, watch him, keep his company, learn from him, learn about him. Satam Sangaha, they say. Satam. Satam means wise man. When you keep your relationship with him, means learn from him, keep his company, then his vibes, his purity will come to us if we are open. So this is the reason why we have taken this time out and we are discussing about this wise man. We have already discussed the two traits which I already talked about. Now today we will talk about the second line which I was referring to. Wise man is the one Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. He is the one from whom, and make a note of these words. Lord Krishna says, Lord Krishna is describing the wise man. He says the wise man is one Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha Stitatihi Munihi Uchyate. He is the one from whom Vigataha Ragaha Yasmat, from whom the Raga means too much of attachment. Ragaha has gone away, and whenever we talk about Raga, understand hatred also, because they are pairs, they go together. In the same mind, when there is too much of attachment at one place, there is bound to be strong dislike for something else. So, he is the one from whom these have gone. Who has gone? Ragaha, strong attachment, then hatred, plus fear, plus anger. All these have left him. Vigataha, Ragaha, Krodaha, Bhayaha, Yasmat, Saha, Vigata, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. This is how Lord Krishna describes a wise man. Now let us take each thing. And in ignorant one is one in whom all of these are very much present. Ignorant is one in whom Raga is there, Dvesha is there, fear is there, anger is there, greed is there, passion is there. To some or the other extent they are there. And to the extent they are there, they are present, to that extent they trouble you. They trouble you. When we are not in control, when we do not have mastery over our own personality, over our own intellect, over our own minds, when we don't have that mastery, then we have not made it. And we don't want to show to others that I have made it. This is not for that, not getting all those labels and that. No, not for that, but for our own happiness. Mind which is happy with itself alone is happy. not others. So let us take each thing. He is the one who is free from raga, because he now knows. See, that doesn't, he is not, affection is fine. He loves everyone. But that strong attachment is not there. Love is a nice quality. For any relationship, love is necessary. Affection is necessary. Without love, you cannot care for anyone. So, and we are all related to each other. Man is a social animal. So, relationship is bound to be there. But if we are not careful, then when we will cross the line of affection to attachment, to strong attachment, we do not realize. Abhisneha means extra attachment, strong attachment. So much so that I become so concerned with the other person that I begin to control them. Their joys and sorrows become my joys and sorrows. That is also fine. But very gradually, we begin to control other person. We want the other person to behave as per our expectations. This is what happens when we are not careful. Affection is fine, as I said. So there is a very thin line between love and attachment. As I said, love is beautiful. Wise men do love everyone. They have same love for everyone. But they are not attached anywhere. Their hearts are not given anywhere. It is right with them. And in ignorant people we see that when you are, particularly with your own small world, with your own people, if you are not careful, as I said, love gets converted into strong attachment. And then you are all the while concerned. All the while your mind is with the person concerned, with the person for whom the attachment is built. And then a time comes, you begin to ask, where were you? Why did you come late? Who were you talking to? This everybody has experienced, particularly with spouse, particularly with your girlfriend, boyfriend, children also, disciples also, students also. When then comes, the sense of possessiveness. I possess this person. This person is mine. Mine means that person should not belong to others. Then we do not realize, but we infringe upon that other person's freedom, upon the other person's likes and dislikes. If the other person happens to like some other thing, I cannot stand it. Why? Because I am insecure. Attached in love, there is no insecurity. Love is distributing, caring. There is no division there. There is no sense of duality then over there. But when this turns into attachment, then all the while you are insecure. Parents, for children also. For parents, to certain extent, this is necessary. See, love is very necessary. Otherwise, you will not be able to take care of the child and your parents and your spouse, etc. So that is necessary. And without love, no relationship can flower. So that is necessary. But understand that these two persons are different. They have different paths. Give them freedom. Let them have their own individuality. But we see that this doesn't happen. When you begin to possess and control, then it's quite likely that you abuse the other person. Give them freedom. When we do not give freedom to the person whom we like, then what kind of love is that? Love is that in which you are happy to see them happy. When you see them happy, pursuing their likes and dislikes, you are happy. You are not insecure. In their happiness, you are happy. It is not that only when you behave and talk to me and your life is totally around me, I am the center of your life, there should not be anyone, no other interest, no other thing, nothing at all. Then only I am happy. What kind of a thing is this? The other person has freedom. Their individuality is lost then. They cannot give you their best. And let me tell you, in course of time, the person goes away. When the space, then in the beginning you say give us space, then too much of space then there will be too much of space. The person may not be able to sever his or her relationship with you, supposing that kind of, if that may not be possible, but mentally you are going away. Mentally you may be under the same roof, but still you are not together. You may be under one roof, but still you are not together. Understand this, all this has to be understood. Otherwise, we may be together, but we are not making each other happy. Why are people separating? Why no harmony in relations? Why? Think of all this. We have crossed certain lines. We have crossed certain lines. When you see wise people, they are large-hearted. They are not insecure. When your own people have some other interests, that should not make this person insecure. In case of Lord Krishna only, let us see. He was raised up by the foster parents, Yashoda and Nanda Baba. Loved them so much. And then we hear about his whole Leelas in Vrindavan and everything, gopis and everything. So much of love is there for them. But that love did not stop him from going to Mathura. Means when he had to go there and do his duty, he has come with a mission. Now this thing cannot stop him. This love for his mother and gopis and his friends and cows and all that cannot stop him from doing what he has to do. He went to Mathura and did. Then again, in the end, he destroyed his own family. His own clan, the entire Yadava clan is destroyed. Why? Did he not love them? He brought them up. Why? Simply because they were beyond improvement. They were all so wealthy, but they all had taken up to wrong habits and were fighting amongst each other and all that. So he destroyed the entire clan. What I am saying is, love is fine, but there is no attachment. Attachment doesn't allow you to proceed in life. It will not allow you. You will get stuck. Is it not our experience that when some loved one passes away, somebody passes away from, and that is bound to happen. Everybody goes through that. But if your attachment is very strong, you just remain there. Your life stagnates there. You are not ready to move on. That doesn't mean you don't love. That you don't love your child or your partner or your father. That doesn't mean that. But you have to move on. This is a fact of life. This is the fact of life. So accepting the realities of life is wisdom. Accept the realities of life. Otherwise person has gone and my life is also gone. My life is also gone. So from wise man we learn this. they recover. Whatever is to be done is done. As we know in case of Lord Rama also. Dashratha pined for him when he is going to the forest. His father Dashratha never wanted him to go. But he still went. And he knew that moment I will leave, he will die. But that did not stop him. Why? Because there are things to be done. So what I am saying is, wise man is free from this attachment. Not free from affection or love. Love is there, attachment is not there. Attachment restricts your vision. In case of Arjuna only, see what has happened in Bhagavad Gita. He came to fight but cannot fight now. Why can he not fight? My people. Arey, did you not know this before coming to the battlefield? That they are my people? And this is the war among brothers? Of course, it is a dharma yuddha, war for righteousness, and it was his duty as a warrior to protect righteousness. But today he is caught up between what? Attachment for his people, and on the one side is one side are his people and his attachment, and on the other side is his duty, and he gave in to his attachment. Thank God Lord Krishna was there. Lord Krishna was there and he was there to guide him, and it struck to Arjuna to surrender unto him. He did say that I am stuck here. I cannot decide whether I should fight or give in. But something made him surrender to Lord Krishna, and he said, please teach me, please teach me. And Lord Krishna then taught him all this. Taught him duty is, what is to be done is to be done. Each and every situation in life calls for a proper response, becoming response, and nothing but nothing should stop you from executing that. So, wise man is free from raga, and by the same token, he is free from dvesha, hatred. There is a beautiful verse in Bhagavad Gita which says, Adveshta sarva bhutanam. Wise man is the one who has no hatred, absolutely no hatred for anyone. Not for anyone. Why? Because he sees himself. He sees the same self everywhere. He sees the same Ishvara, God everywhere. Where is the scope for hatred? No hatred at all. You must have heard this story about Gandhiji. Have you? Mahatma Gandhi, when he was in South Africa. And he was all along, he was fighting for poor people and all that, fighting for them. And he was a lawyer and all that. So then he was put behind the bars in one case. Then in the jail, just imagine, he is making the footwear for the jailer. The jailer had left no stone unturned to harass him. The jailer had not left anything, no stone unturned literally, to harass this person. But imagine this Mahatma's greatness and his heart, sitting in the jail, in the prison. He is making footwear. He was expert in doing that. He had many expertises, and one of them was making chappals, making footwear. He is sitting and very lovingly making this for him, and then he presented it to him. That fellow was so ashamed of himself. Tears were in his eyes. Tears came rolling, and he said, I will always preserve this. I will always preserve this. I will never wear it, because it has come from you. See, love is something which changes people. There is something which we cannot on ourselves bring about a change in our personality. But when we look up to them, follow them, it becomes easier. You know, they are our examples, ideals, which we can, that is why yadyad acharati shreshtaha, whatever a wise man does, it becomes matrix for us and we can follow that. To follow is easy. We cannot ourselves sometimes, we cannot muster up that courage, that strength, that inspiration from our own selves. But we look up to others who are like that and follow them. That is why we are discussing this. Then, there is no bhaya, there is no fear. Where there is no attachment, there is no fear also. When you want a thing to happen badly, that this should happen, this should not go away, this should remain with me, then remember there will always be fear. Why? Because we know that it is bound to go. Everything is bound to go. So always there will be fear. Fear of death, fear of old age, fear of separation, fear of losing something. Depends. Where am I attached? If I am attached to my son and the child, then when will he come? What has happened? Why 5 minutes late? Why this? Why that? Why this? I do 2-3 calls I make. We use our cell phones for these things only. Where are you? Where have you reached? How many miles away? So this is all, we are totally controlled. When there is strong attachment, there is fear also. Okay. Then the most formidable enemy is anger. Now see, in case of wise man, there is no anger. Absolutely no anger. It's a big achievement. Because the seed from where the anger arises is not there in him. Anger, in Bhagavad Gita, in these verses which we are discussing, there Lord Krishna says that whenever there is strong attachment, intensely you desire something, then the anger will be in keeping with the intensity of the desire. So, and whenever you desire something, it's not 100% guaranteed that you will attain the object of your desire. Because generally speaking, objects are few and the people to desire them are more. There may be few objects and people who have attached a great attachment for them are more. In short, it is not going to happen that my desires, my expectations, my wishes, my insistences will be fulfilled. And when I'm strongly attached to that, and when it doesn't happen, what happens? It comes out in the form of anger. Anger is something is always here. Stronger the desire, and when it is not met with, then that desire gets deflected. That desire because it's not fulfilled, it gets deflected and expresses in the form of anger. With the person or the obstruction which has come in between me and the object of desire. Towards that person or a thing will become the target of my anger. And unless anger comes, things are in your control. We are aware, that it's coming. I'm getting angry. This is everybody's experience. We all are conversant with this very well. We know this intimately. That I'm aware That coming in, I'm aware of it. If at that time I'm cautious and take the signals and hold it there, then things are saved. Up to this moment, I have freedom. Up to this point, I have freedom. It is coming, I know, but I don't allow it to get expressed. Till then, I have the reins in my hand. But once it takes over me and the impulse is so strong that I don't listen to anything, let whatever happen. Let whatever happen, either this way or that way. Either it will be my way or highway. That time we go mad. We go mad. We don't even wait to think of the consequences. I will shout at my boss also. Then you know what will happen. With my boss also, why did you tell me this? You may be right also, but we have to learn we have to be practical. If you are fired, then what will you do? What about your children? No, I don't care. I don't care. You don't care, but what about your wife and children and your family who is dependent upon you? But at that time, wisdom goes on the back burner. Wisdom goes on the back burner. Impulse or that strong emotion just overtakes. Lord Krishna says that when you have a strong attachment, it is more often likely, if it gets fulfilled, fine. But if your desire doesn't get fulfilled, then the anger is bound to occur. When it is occurring, when it is rising, at that time, if you take the situation in your hand, can withdraw your anger, then still fine. But if we cannot do it, then now the situation is out of your hands. Totally out of your hands. Then what will happen will be history. Then we will create a history. Because we don't know what will happen. And then we forget all our education, all our sophistication, all our manners, everything is just forgotten. Sammoha. What now takes place is sammoha. Sammoha means delusion. I am totally deluded. There is blackout, there is a blackout before my intellect. So when intellect is gone, you cannot discriminate between what is right and wrong. What can be done, what should not be done. You can't decide. There is nobody now left to decide, because the captain of the ship, who is the captain? Intellect, buddhi is the captain. That itself, before him there is blackout. Supposing the captain is totally intoxicated and is driving the car or whatever, then you can imagine what will be your fate. That is why buddhi, the mind, we always have to take care of it. In Kathopanishad, it is said, buddhim tu sarathim viddhi. This buddhi, this intellect is your captain. Take care. Buddhi is not supposed to get intoxicated. Intoxicated means with this kind of impulses. There is a blackout. And now you don't know, forgotten everything. That this is my parent, my mother. I cannot speak to her like that. I cannot speak to my father like this. I cannot behave with my wife in this way. Children in this way. Everything is gone. All education, all samskaras, all our culture, all the culture. A person will shout before the teacher also. All kinds of things we read in newspapers. that people commit murders, homicides, and in this impulse one commits suicide also. They just throw away their lives. Is it not very common? This is what they need. Just don't leave them. Try to bring some amendments. Anyway, but here we are talking, this is just digression. But when anger takes hold, this is such a formidable impulse. When it rises, then it is quite possible we will wind up doing something which is totally unbecoming of us as a human being. Shastra says, scriptures say that once this has taken over, human being is no more a human being. He is akin to an animal. Because animals give in to their impulses. They don't think. They are not given that kind of faculty. That should I kick him or not? Should I kick him or not? They don't think. But human being is given that capacity. It's not proper. But still he will go ahead and do it. Why? Because he is not in his control. Some other demon has taken over. He is haunted by that. Taken over by that thing called anger. Anger is what? Strong desire. As per my wishes. As per my expectations. Things should go. As I say. As I expect. He or she, whoever, doesn't realize that this is burning himself as well as the person at whom this is targeted. Both are burning. And we don't realize the amount of pain, amount of problems and abuse we do at the target. We just don't realize. The victim of our anger sometimes cannot come out of it. They feel so humiliated. They feel so abused. Their self-esteem is gone. When you abuse, when you beat, when you scream and shout and just do any kind of behavior with that person, that person's self-esteem is gone. He cannot handle it either. And I have seen people do not come out of this for many years. They lose their self-confidence. They lose it. And when children become targets of this, temporarily children by Bhagavan, by God, they are given, Bhagavan has made, wonders. He makes them forget at that time. Children forget at that time. When it is done, the attack is there. But then afterwards they seem to, but when they grow up, all these things come out. All these things come out. And then they also don't know why are they getting this mood swings. They also behave like that. And then the history is repeated. Psychology says all this. They also behave. They don't learn anything from this. Because father did like this, so he does like that. Doesn't learn anything from that. If they learn, well and good. If this is what has happened to me, I will be a better person and I will not do the same thing with my people, my children, my spouse, friends, etc. This is a burning problem, understand. This is a burning, and more individualistic we are becoming, more and more selfish. Desires are arising every moment, and I want all my desires to be fulfilled because I have become so weak that if my desires will not get fulfilled, I am nothing. There is no inner strength. And when this happens, From anger, minds in our control. And that is what we learn from a wise man. We have to learn from him in each and every situation. People insult him. Don't think that wise man, great people, they are very simple. They have no airs around them. They don't go about declaring that I am wise, this, that. They also face insults, humiliations. But in face of that, they just no tit for tat. They don't do that. And remain cool and calm. When you don't react, the other person's anger will soon go down. It will go down. And more than that, wise man will be such, he will forgive. It is too much. It's a tall order for people like us. But they will forgive also. And when you forgive, when you are compassionate, even when anger is hurled at you, then the other person's heart is likely to change. Is likely to change. No rehabs may be able to do that, perhaps. But this will do. This will do. This we have to experiment. This we have to do and see. There is no other progress in this is real success. This is the success. Otherwise, we have everything. Money is there, name is there, fame is there, big house is there, everything is there. But we don't get along. He in his room, I in my room, he in other room, everybody is separate. Don't talk to each other. We don't talk to each other. Moment something happens, no talking. Which means no communication. No communication. So we learn from wise man that we have to have our love intact, care intact, compassion intact. See, when you are happy by yourself, then all these are natural consequences. All this love and care and sharing, compassion, kindness are natural experience, natural expressions of this knowledge. So, we have to become like this. So, in this manner, in Bhagavad Gita, in many verses, Lord Krishna describes a wise man. And he says that wise man is totally free, giving up all desires. They have dropped off. He moves around in the world. Vihaya kamanyas. He moves, he is free. He has no sense of I and mine, because everything is he. He has this vision. He has this perception. This entire creation is me. Entire creation is Ishvara. In that one, where is the question of I and mine? Everything is mine. Everything is mine. So he lives this life. Then Lord Krishna at the end says, very beautifully he says, sometimes when we hear all this, we feel this is not possible, Swamini. This is not possible for us. In this life it is not possible. We sometimes feel that this is too tall an order for us to achieve in this life. No. He says, even if you understand this at the end of your life, he says, Esha Brahmi Stitif Partha, means if you have gained this knowledge that I am everything, I am happy by myself, happiness is my nature. Don't, even if at the last moment of your life, you come to know this, and if you can abide in this nature, you are free. You are free. So never think that, never despair that I did not make it. You still have time. You still have time. Then there is a beauty, I'll just tell you a small incident from Bhagavatam. There was a king called Parikshit.